living here in Thailand, certainly the headlines are a little bit bleak at the moment, but is this the opinion of our neighbours? We're part of ASEAN. Many countries surrounding us are members of ASEAN. And so what do they think of what's going on? Is this one of the big stories or not? To tell us a little bit more is S. Roy, the founder and CEO of AseanAffairs publication, for our monthly roundup, as we do. Thanks very much for joining us here on Morning Talk once again, Mr. Roy.
My pleasure. And as every month, we begin by a roundup of the major events. In fact, the newsmakers.
And the newsmakers, certainly here in Thailand, we're one ASEAN member, just one. Headlines have been a little bit bleak. Is this one of the big stories within ASEAN as well?
Sure. You must know that ASEAN exists because of the members, right? And ASEAN is a group of the 10 ASEAN governments. And all the governments have to look after their governments first, and then also look after ASEAN.
As well. Yes.
But if they are in their own countries grappling with political problems on a day-to-day basis, which you have seen in Thailand, in fact in neighboring Malaysia. So it takes the eye of the ball, so to say. Especially in the case of Thailand, because Thailand happens to be the chairman of ASEAN, which it took over this year from Singapore. The chairman in ASEAN in the 10 nations is rotated by alphabetical order. So the previous chairman was Singapore, after S is T, Thailand, the next will be Vietnam, and then back to Brunei, okay?
Yes.
So, and plus the chairman nation also hosts the ASEAN summit.
Which is scheduled for December
of
this year.
Scheduled for December this year in Bangkok.
However, I've heard Prime Minister Hun Sen from Cambodia saying that perhaps Thailand is not fit to host ASEAN, given that we have been in these political difficulties, that last Prime Minister found guilty of breaching the Constitution, current Prime Minister up on similar charges, I think is the correct term.
Yes.
Or suspected of some of the same things. Do you think Thailand is fit to stay heading up ASEAN?
Well, first of all...
Is this the opinion of more members than just Cambodia?
Well, to name a few, of course, ASEAN, as I said, comprises of all the 10 members. And now with the charter, but in the history of ASEAN, the charter means the constitution. It becomes a rule-binding body after the ratification. By the way, Thailand, in spite of its political instability, has ratified the charter. So there is a movement. Even in spite of all the difficulties, Thailand has moved forward on its ASEAN agenda. And there are 2 more countries to go, which is Indonesia and Philippines, before the ASEAN summit. There are members who will have to voice opinion. There are some outspoken members like our Prime Minister of Cambodia, who feels that what's happening in Thailand is a bit weird, because he says nowhere in the world is the seat of the government held to ransom by protesters. So he felt whether Thailand should be replaced temporarily by some other country and Thailand can come back. That was his opinion.
Do you think there's any impact with the border dispute between Thailand and Cambodia that might be clouding his logic there?
We will not jump into any speculation on. We will only go by facts of what they said.
Yes.
Why and what, Hun Sen knows best. But that was his comment.
That's the end result.
And also the Singapore Prime Minister, actually, Lee Hsien Loong, was also worried that with the neighbors, Malaysia and in Thailand, the political instability affects, overall.
It affects everybody in ASEAN.
Yeah,
yes.
It's everybody's interest. Okay.
Yes.
It's like ASEAN was formed because together you can stand up to China and India as a single market. The primary motive right now in terms of trade and business is to drive ASEAN towards a single market. They said that would be, we should not forget that fact, because driving towards a single market on ASEAN is the benefit of all member nations.
Absolutely, and in fact there's a lot going on between India's Look East policy, India and ASEAN at the moment. However, I just want to go back to controversy, because it's more exciting, you see, as news. It's not just Thailand that's mired in controversy. We also have our southern neighbour, Malaysia, as well. Seems to be having the same sort of issue.
Yeah, maybe for viewers in Thailand, to give a recap of what's going on in Malaysia, the current Prime Minister Abdullah Badawi, who was handpicked successor of Mahathir Mohamad, the former Prime Minister of Malaysia, who ruled for over 20 odd years, and the opposition leader, Anwar Ibrahim, is a resurgent opposition now with around 80 seats in parliament, And he had a by-election and he has returned to Parliament, and he just needs 30 more MPs to defect from the government to bring down the government in Malaysia.
And form his own.
And form his own. So this is absolutely unprecedented in the history of Malaysia. There is therefore political turmoil in neighboring, in our southern neighbor. And as I said, so these two issues, two countries, main countries, one of the founder members of ASEAN, are embroiled in their own political instability.
And down there seems to be a standard political tactic to deal with Mr. Anwar, which is accuse him of sodomy, I think, is the charge in an Islamic country that certainly carries a lot of weight. So
yeah, let me just say this, that our job is to, of course, present the facts as it happens, and all the things, whatever charges you mentioned, they are in court, in each country's court, and they will take their own judicial process. Yeah.
Yes. To clarify my comment, yes, it is alleged that he engaged in an illegal practice and therefore is in court for a second time.
Yes.
Now, just talking about both these issues, here in Thailand, I think Thai viewers, perhaps less so our foreign viewers who are watching on cable networks around the world, they may have an opinion about how fast this is going to be resolved. Malaysia and Thailand, do you think when we sit here in another month and have the same discussion, that you'll say, okay, it's all clear, it's all done, it's all sorted?
Well, for viewers in Thailand and for viewers around the world, we live in uncertain times. Be it Thailand, be it the United States.
Yeah,
in fact, I'm thinking of writing an editorial in an upcoming issue in the magazine, because we are launching our magazine in America.
I have a sneak preview here of the cover. Yeah, the market crash, your big opportunity. Yeah.
And so we're launching in America in the coming issue, where our copies will be available in Canada, USA, the United Kingdom, and from the United Kingdom into Germany, Holland, Russia, Australia, New Zealand. So practically, AseanAffairs magazine will be available for readers to read in bookstores and newsstands around the world. So the issue of, back to the political instability, if you looked at what is happening in Congress, bipartisan politics could not decide on a $700 billion deal, and the market wiped out in a single day $1.1 trillion in the New York Stock Exchange, unprecedented in the history of the United States. So we live in uncertain times, be it Thailand, be it Malaysia, be it ASEAN, be it US. In what will happen in a month's time, nobody is now daring to guess or predict anymore. Because things are moving so fast everywhere. So we only hope that things will move for the better. Coming back to ASEAN, this is our opinion now, okay, not the fact. And the opinion is, we are optimistic that in spite of whatever is going on, political instability in the countries, the ASEAN summit will be held in Bangkok, we hope, and Thailand will be able to host it and move a step further for the ASEAN integration and the drive towards a single market.
Mr. Roy, thank you very much for joining us on Morning Talk.
My pleasure.
Look forward to seeing you next month.
Thank you.